Hi, I'm Aiden.
And I'm Rebecca.
And this is Library Connections, your place for the latest news, information, and technology for the Pioneer Library System.
Aiden, summer is almost here.
I can hear it coming.
I know, school's almost out. All sorts of fun stuff is coming up. We've got a full slate this episode, I think.
Absolutely. You know, as soon as that school bell rings, kids run out of school and they run into the library. So We've got a lot of children's librarians talking about summer reading kickoffs. We've got some different DIY type things coming up, and a special visit from one of my favorite children's authors, Tammy Sauer, who has won numerous awards. And on this show today, you're going to be able to see a sneak peek of a brand new book that has not even been released yet.
Yay!
And you're talking to some cool people too, right?
I am. We're talking to all sorts of fun people, so let's get to it. I'm here with Kathy from Noble, and this, believe it or not, is your first time on Library Connections.
It is. I'm so excited
I'm
to
glad
be
you're
here.
joining us today, and we're going to talk about all the fun stuff you have coming up in Noble in May. So tell me all about it.
The first weekend in May, which is the 6th, 7th, and 8th, is the Rose Rock Music Festival, and the library will be participating in that event. On Saturday the 14th, we're going to be planting things at Sprout Up from 10 to 12.
Ooh, how fun.
We're going to have a master gardener. We're going to plant things. We're going to build things. And it's just going to be a sprouty day.
How fun. And are you doing this indoors or outdoors?
We are going to do it outdoors this year.
Much fun.
And I almost forgot, we're having a plant swap.
Oh, even better.
Everybody who's doing all their trimming and thinning of all your plants and bulbs, bring them to the library on May 14th in Noble.
All right, that sounds like a lot of fun. I may have to swing down there myself and trade off a few plants.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so what else do you have coming up?
Friday, May 20th, we have our family game night, which is going to be Lego night.
Fun.
We've been doing some interesting things with Legos, and this is going to let families come in and work together to create interesting things with the Legos.
How much fun. Now, have any of these require registration, or can the people just show up for all of them?
They do not require registration. You can just show up.
All right, and of course, if you need a reminder, you can always register. But
Absolutely.
otherwise, just turn up. Okay, and I think we're both kicking off summer reading. Of course,
Yes.
everybody is. So yours is coming up, I think, beginning of June. Is that right?
June 6th, Monday. We have the Sugar Free All Stars at 10 a.m. and our kickoff is going to follow that program at 11.
How much fun. And ours at Norman West is kicking off right before Memorial Day. So we'll, on May 27th from 5 to 7, we'll have all sorts of fun stuff. It's after work, so you get off and you're gearing up to go off for Memorial Day. Stop by the library, get signed up for summer reading, get some books for the trip. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds like it.
All right, well, thanks so much for coming on, Kathy.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, and next we're going to hear from Aiden, who's interviewing a local author.
Well, joining me now is Tammy Sauer, an award-winning children's author, and we are so fortunate to have her today on Library Connections. This is actually your first visit to Library Connections,
Yes, it is. I'm
right?
happy to be here.
So it's her first visit here, but she's not a stranger to the Moore Schools area or to Oklahoma or Edmond, which is where you live,
Yes,
right?
correct.
So Tammy is joining us here today, and if you take a look at just a sampling of some of the books that are out here, I know that if you are a regular at some of our story times, you're probably pretty familiar with some of these titles, especially Nugget and Fang tends to be a very popular choice right now in story time, but we're just so happy to have you here today.
Well, I'm happy to be a part of this. Thanks for
Yeah.
inviting me.
Now, I mentioned award-winning author, and there's some great books up here, and right in the middle is Your Alien. Tell us a little bit about Your Alien.
Your Alien is a book that stars two friends, and a baby alien crash lands on a little boy's front yard. They become fast friends. They have a wonderful day together, but then nighttime arrives and the alien, something's just not quite right, and it's up to the little boy to figure out exactly what the alien needs. It's been a really great book. It celebrates friendship and it celebrates family. There's a lot of heart and humor, and I'm really proud of it. The sequel to Your Alien actually comes out in October.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
called Your Alien Returns.
Oh, great. So not only has this won awards here in the United States, but I think there's also been some interest international for some of these. Is
Yes,
this
actually,
right?
Your Alien's getting published in Spain, in Italy, in France, and South Korea, and there's a chance for a couple of other countries as well. Some of my other books have done that too, and it's just really fun to see a book in a different language.
Now, so the language is different. Are the illustrations going to be
The
the
art's
same?
exactly the
Okay.
same, but it's just so nice to know that people all around the world are able to enjoy something that I've written. It's quite an honor.
And now you mentioned something about another award for one of your illustrators. Is that right?
Yes, Dan Santat.
Okay.
He is the illustrator of Chicken Dance and the sequel to Chicken Dance called Bach and Roll. And Dan last year won the Caldecott Award, which is the best award you could possibly get as an illustrator in the United States. So I'm honored to work with Dan. He's also a friend of mine. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
That's amazing. Now, speaking of interesting or really cool things that happened, I read online that actually July 9th, 2015, in the city of Edmond, something special happened there.
Well, last July was a special day. It was called Tammy Sauer Day in Edmond, Oklahoma. I work a lot with Best of Books. It's the independent bookstore in Edmond, and whenever I do school visits, I try to get the schools to purchase their books for pre-orders through Best of Books because I try to really help out the independent bookstore in my community. And Best of Books was really thankful for that, and they wanted to show their appreciation, and so they went to the city council meeting and they got a proclamation signed by the mayor, and it was pretty fantastic. So a lot of my writer friends showed up, a lot of kids, a lot of my friends. My mom came in from Kansas,
Oh,
so I
wow.
drew in the out-of-state crowd, so that was nice too.
Now, speaking of school visit, I think that some of these were maybe inspired by a school visit
Oh,
also.
yes. This book right here is called Ginny Louise and the School Showdown. I got the idea for this book when I was at a school visit in Marlow, Oklahoma. I have a book called Cowboy Camp, and a lot of times when I go to a school visit, the kids have a cowboy day where they're dressed in cowboy gear. And
fun.
I walked into Marlow Elementary, and these kids have this big poster on the wall, and it says, "You're not at cowboy camp anymore, Tammy Sauer. Welcome to Outlaw Camp."
Wow.
And this school, instead of being like the Knights or the Wildcats, they were called the Marlow Elementary Outlaws, and every kid was dressed up looking like an outlaw. And after a day spending all that time with all those little bad guys, I decided I needed to write a book about a sweet character who goes into a school filled with bad guys.
Oh my
And that
goodness.
is Ginny Louise and the School Showdown. And then I have a sequel for that book coming out in June called Ginny Louise and the School Field Day. I celebrated the release of this book by going back to Marlow Elementary, and if you look at the dedication page, you can see that I dedicated it for the Marlow
Oh,
Elementary Outlaws. So that was
that's
really fun to go
amazing.
back and say thank you in this special way.
Wow. Now, Marlow's not a giant place.
No, it's not.
And neither is the place where you were born.
No. I grew up in a really small town. In my town, the population has about 2,004 people, I would think. And yeah, there aren't even any stoplights in my town. Sometimes I go back and I do author visits there, and it's just really fun to connect with the kids and to show them that you can grow up in a really small town, but you can do some big things.
Now, sometimes I know when people are first starting out and they think, I want to write books, I want to write a children's book, I really want to enjoy success like this, but it's not always easy. So what advice would you give to people who are thinking about maybe wanting to write a book?
Well, it's really hard to get into this business, so you have to really want it. My biggest suggestions for you would be to read, because the more you read, the better you write. Write, because the more you write, the better you write. And
Sure.
be prepared to do lots of revising, get in a critique group. There's an organization that I belong to called the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. It's called SCBWI, and it's an amazing organization, and we have conferences and we have get-togethers, and it's really for people who are super interested in becoming a part of this business. So really you have to just be
that's-
persistent and really want it.
And that's local, right?
Yes, there's a great group in Oklahoma. It's an international organization. I speak at conferences all across the nation for SCBWI. We recently had our big SCBWI conference in Oklahoma last weekend. We had agents, editors, art directors from New York City come in and speak, and it's just a really great way to get to know what the industry is a little bit about.
Wonderful. Now, we've talked about new things coming out, and is there anything else new coming out that you wanted to talk about?
Brand new.
Okay, you saw it here first.
In May, yeah, nobody's really seen this yet. This is my book called I Love Cake, starring Rabbit, Porcupine, and Moose. And in this book, there are three best friends, Rabbit, Porcupine, and Moose. And on Rabbit's birthday, she invites her best buddies over, and everything goes really great until the cake and Moose mysteriously disappear. So you'll have to check this one out. It's really fun. I love the art. I've never worked with this illustrator before. I'm just really proud of it.
Really cool. Well, thank you so much for swinging by. And we've talked about these books that have come out. Certainly, we recommend that people support their local bookstores. We love that. We also have a number of these books that are available for checkout at your library across the Pioneer Library System website. You can visit at pioneerlibrarysystem.org, or if you've already downloaded the app, Pioneer Library System Connect, you can look for those on there as well. Well, Tammy, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show.
I
and
love being a part of this. Thanks for inviting me.
Come back anytime.
I will. Thank you.
Rebecca?
Thanks, Aiden. I'm here with Judy and Rebecca from Norman Central, and we're talking about some really fun readers programs you guys have coming up soon. Now, Rebecca, yours is for teens,
Yes.
and it's a very tasty program, is it not?
It is. It's the Taste of Books. It's on May 31st at 2 p.m. And it's for teens or people who like teen books. Adults are always welcome.
Absolutely.
You get to wander around and eat tasty treats and learn about new reads for the summer.
Awesome.
It's a lot of fun, and it can fill your belly up too.
Right. Books and food, two of my favorite things. And that's just open to anybody. They don't need to register ahead of time or anything?
You don't have to register, although if you do, we'll send you an email reminder. So that helps.
That is always nice. And then just a few days later, Judy, you have an event that's more geared toward adults or people who prefer adult fiction. And that is Readers Extravaganza,
That's
right?
right. This is our 9th year to do the Readers Extravaganza. It's like a mini festival of books for teens and adults. And we will have like 20 tables, all creatively decorated on all like mystery, science fiction, nonfiction. We've got our cookbook table this year, and TV to books,
Oh,
or books to
fun.
TV, all kinds of things.
Yeah, either way.
And librarians will be giving short book talks, and we're going to tell you what's coming up, what's getting lots of buzz, what you need to put a hold on at your library. And we have tasty food. We have cheese and crackers and hors d'oeuvres and sweets. And we're really excited this year to have Lou Berney come and talk.
Wow.
Author Lou Berney. He just won the Oklahoma Book Award for Fiction for his book, The Long and Far Away Gone. And these are a couple of his other books. We couldn't bring that book because it's got a waiting
got a
list.
long wait
Everybody's
list.
checking it out. But he's going to be there talking about his book and writing and selling and signing books.
All right, and I love you have these little books
Yes.
that I love as well. So everyone gets one of these when they come in, and then
Everyone
they can
gets
kind
one
of
of these, yes.
take notes
Take
about what they
notes
want
about
to
what
read.
they heard about and what they want to check out.
That's so much fun. I love it. And then you've also got your book discussion groups if
Yes.
they want to be more engaged in reading.
That's
Well,
right.
that is wonderful. So that is June.
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Doors
All
open
right.
at 6:30.
All right. Well, those both sound like so much fun. Thanks for coming on to talk about them, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Well, joining me now is Peggy from the Purcell Library, who has a very bright future ahead of her, apparently. And then Becky from the Blanchard Library is here as well. And judging from the awesome things that you guys brought with you, I think we're going to talk a little bit about summer. Is that right?
It's true.
Okay.
I've got to tell you, we've got some great things ahead of us at Purcell Public Library. Our kickoff is scheduled for Tuesday,
Okay.
May 24th. I had to bring my sunglasses because we're going to be outdoors.
So that's why we have a hula hoop and a bat and a little ball, right?
Yes, lots of fun activities for families to participate in, for children to have all sorts of fun because it's ready, set, read.
Ready, set, read.
Yes,
Okay.
and so we'll be registering children, and there'll be a whole wide array of activities to help have a healthy, fun summer and start reading all summer.
And is this at the library?
Yes, it's at the library.
Okay.
We have a great big front yard, and
Yes,
it's
you
just
do.
too fun to not have a big outdoor activity.
Now, for people who haven't had the pleasure of being at the Purcell Public Library, what's unique about the library in their location?
Yes, we're in a joint use school, public library, public community building. The health department is located on the same campus next door to us. The superintendent's office, there's a park adjacent to the library, and so many times during the summer, families choose to come to library programs or to our big touring programs and then have a fun time together in the park right next to the library.
Well, I think that this is probably the kind of program that you don't necessarily have to register for in advance.
Not at all.
People can show up.
We want everyone to come. And a really nice thing is the Chickasaw Nation Summer Nutrition Program will be there to preview. They'll give a free lunch to all children ages 0 to 18. And then throughout
fantastic.
the summer, starting on June 1st
Okay.
to the last first Friday in August, which is August 5th, they'll be providing free summer lunches to every child who comes to the site,
That's
to the library.
amazing. You know, we're being kind of, you know, having a lot of fun right here, but that is something that's so important, and I'm so grateful that the library is a part of that. You know, certainly during the school year, a lot of kids do depend on that free and reduced lunch, and this is just another way that even though school is out, that the library does a great job supporting the needs of the community. So thank you so much, Peggy, for mentioning that, and I may stop by, and if you'll save the hula hoop for me.
Yes.
I'm gonna need some lessons.
We'll
but-
teach you the shoop shoot.
Okay, I got it. Now, Becky, what do you guys have coming up in Blanchard?
Well, we have a couple big events coming up. We have the Community Celebration May Days in Blanchard, which there are vendors and carnivals downtown. But we are excited to bring the new Pioneer System Maker Mobile there to show it off to our community, as well as having Friends of the Library bake sale and book sale.
Okay.
We have we've had wonderful donations recently, so we have some really almost brand new untouched books that are
Fantastic.
we're saving just for that. And then, of course, our summer reading program kickoff will be Wednesday, June 1st. And we're going to be having kind of a field day, just like Purcell, and lots of fun. We'll have some indoor and outdoor activities, so if it's hot that day, they can cool down, then go back out.
Wonderful.
So lots of food, activities, and fun. And again, no registration, just everybody's welcome to come.
Wonderful. Well, thanks you guys for coming out. Really appreciate it. And it sounds like summer's going to be a blast.
Thank you.
Thanks. And Rebecca, I'm going to throw it to you.
Thanks, Aiden. Well, I am here with Celinda, and Celinda is one of our business outreach coordinators for the system, and you have a really good program going on at Norman Central right now, don't you?
I do. We're so excited to invite everyone to register for the Physically Fit Boot Camp every Wednesday evening in May at 6 o'clock at the Central Library, and we just want to save your seat, so please register.
Right, and this is not the first time you guys have done a Fiscally Fit Boot Camp, is it?
No, it's not. Through our partnership with the Financial Alliance, we've been able to offer at least 3 this year, and we've had great attendance, and people really get a lot of great information out of the program. And I think that people will find it's time spent wisely, and they also get dinner. So you can't go wrong with going to this program.
Right, we've already talked about my love for food, so dinner is an absolute plus. Well, thanks so much for telling us about that. I hope that's another success story.
I hope so too. Thanks for having me, Rebecca.
Thanks, Celinda.
Well, joining me now is Heather Thompson, and she is one of our 2 business outreach coordinators for the Pioneer Library System. Heather, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Aiden, for having me again.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to have you on because there's always something new going on in the world of business services. And you're here to talk about not just business services traditionally, though, this
Right.
month. What do you guys have coming up?
We have a lot of activities coming up at the Moore Public Library. We have a job fair coming up, and I'm super excited about that. This is our second one at the Moore Public Library. It will be Wednesday, May 4th
Okay.
from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we have a lunch sponsor this time. It's Falcone's Pizzeria out
Okay.
of Moore. We have quite a few employers coming. A couple of those are Terry Neese Personnel. We have Sitel coming. We also have Hideaway Pizza, which Hideaway is bringing a new store to Moore.
That's right.
All the branch people are super excited about pizza.
So I love that there's a mix of national chains that are hiring and then some supporting local business people that are hiring as well.
Correct.
Now, should people be prepared to have resumes or actually do on-site interviews? Or is this more the kind of event where you just walk through, pick up info, and then contact people later?
Well, we have it laid out where we have the ability to set aside some space for resume assistance. We
Okay.
also have our computer lab set aside for people to actually go into the computer lab, sit down, maybe with one of the employers if needed, and fill out the resume online. Also, some of those online registrations or applications require testing.
Oh,
So they'll
okay.
also be able to do that and hopefully finish and follow through with the application process.
Okay. Now, I think when you've done these job fairs in the past, one of my favorite things is hearing the stories later. The ones that come back and say, I got a job, thank you so much, this helped out my family, that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to more heartwarming stories about that as well. And then, so do people need to register in advance for this? Is it first come, first serve? How does that work?
It's actually no registration required. We would like for people to show up whenever they can, and 9 a.m. is when we open. And I know last year we had people waiting in the lobby for the employers, and hopefully it will be even more successful than last year. And my passion is finding people a position, but the right position.
Okay. And I know that there are so many library resources that are available, even if you can't make it to that job fair on that day. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that are available really 24/7 through the library's databases also.
Right, we have 2 different databases that are BrainFuse and also Learning Express that allow people to learn how to write a resume if needed.
Okay.
They'll have an account and they'll need their library card.
Okay.
They'll also, there are some too that have the option of live interviewing coaching, which I think is amazing. That for those that may not be able to go meet with someone during the daytime, or also in case they might need the little private time to have just their interviewing skills increase, because I know sometimes that can really be nerve-wracking.
Sure. So Heather, that's not the only thing that you have going on and that you're here to tell us about, right?
Sure. At the South OKC Library, we have an upcoming financial training program, and it is called Making the Most of Your Money, and it's on Thursday, May 19th, and it's at 6:30 p.m.
Making the most of your money. I like that. It sounds empowering.
It does, and we have a great speaker, Giovanni Monterosa with the Tinker Federal Credit Union will be coming, and we've seen Giovanni present before, and he has a great way of speaking to the audience overall and can get down on a level where they can understand what he's trying to teach them about finances so that it's not scary.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most important things, is taking that fear out of finances, making it empowering for you. And as always with any of the library programs, we do look for partners that are not selling a specific product. They're not doing this program to get your information so they can sell you a product or a service. We look for organizations like credit unions and things like that to be able to provide that free, unbiased information from a library program. Now the other one, the Making the Most of Your Money, is registration required for that one?
Yes.
Okay. And people can just go to pioneerlibrarysystem.org. They can register online, or they can call the South Oklahoma City Library at 979-2200.
Yes.
And speaking of the South Oklahoma City Library, they have some fun things coming up as well. If you've noticed some of the awesome titles that I have laid out here, they have a beginning embroidery class for adults. That's going to be on May 10th, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. Registration is required because supplies are limited, so they want to encourage that. And then also DIY, do-it-yourself canning and preserving is coming up. That's on Tuesday, May 17th at 6:30 p.m. And that class actually has no limit. Well, just obviously what the fire marshal says we can fit in the room, which is 104 people. So, but both of these programs are going to have some great speakers that come along with them. And even if you're not able to attend the program, these books and all of the libraries have just great books on these different topics. So Heather, are you a canner or an embroiderer?
I used to embroider when I was young.
Oh, really?
I would like to make a stocking one day.
Now, I have never actually embroidered, but I am quite fond of receiving gifts that have been canned or preserved. So just a little hint there. But maybe we can go to the class and learn how to do that together.
I do like canned jam
Okay.
on toast.
Well, maybe we can do that.
Okay,
Thanks so much for stopping by.
Welcome back, Lisa.
Thanks for
It's
having
good to
me
have
again.
you back from Shawnee again.
Always great to come over.
So what's going on in Pottawatomie County this month?
Well, we have a lot of exciting things coming up in May. First off, at the beginning of the month, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 6th, 7th, and 8th, we'll be doing our Friends of the Library paperback book sale. Only
nice.
paperbacks, lots of great deals. They are gathering now, and the books are being prepared, and it's going to be a great sale. This is something new for us, so we're really excited to see how that goes. So we invite everyone to come over and shop for some new books.
Right, so if you need something for the summer, that it's okay if it washes away in the
Take
sea.
to the beach,
don't
get
have to get it back to
sandy,
the library.
leave on the plane because you don't want to stuff it back in your bag.
Right, leave it for somebody else. Absolutely.
That's
So
right.
that sounds like a great time. So that's the 6th, 7th, and 8th of May.
Yes.
And that's at the library?
At the library in our community rooms during library hours.
Okay, awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. And you have another thing coming up for aspiring writers.
Yes, local author Bob Perry. He's very well known around the state. He goes around doing writing workshops all the time. He has a new series called For the Greater Good, and it is a dystopian trilogy. And he is going to come on Thursday, May 12th at 5:30. He's going to be doing kind of a combo book discussion / also writing workshop about creating dystopian literature. This kind of goes along with the popularity of all the dystopian things out there right now, but also sort of kind of follows along with our Big Read theme of something a little out of the ordinary. And so Bob Perry will be there talking about his books, but also the challenges of writing dystopian literature and how he got that going. He's very successful. He's mostly written historical fiction, so this was a new venture for him, and he thought it was a great learning process that he wanted to share with others.
How much fun. Well, that sounds like a great opportunity.
He is always wonderful.
Yeah. And you have, of course, we are all kicking off summer reading.
Yes,
you
we
all
are.
And Shawnee are kicking it off the beginning of June, is that right?
Yes, on Sunday, June 5th, we are going to be having a concert in the park right across the street from the library, Celebration of Life Park. There's a gazebo there. We're asking people to bring lawn chairs and blankets and make an afternoon of it with us. We are going to be having Boulevard Brass, the brass quintet from Norman, come and perform an old-fashioned Pop Pop concert for us, and open for people of all ages. Following the concert, we'll be doing library card sign-ups as well as summer reading registrations. This is our first big adventure in doing a summer reading kickoff concert, so we're really excited, and we hope we fill the park with people.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It should be.
Ready to hear about all of the fun things coming up over summer next time
Yes.
next time I see you.
Yeah, probably so.
All right. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Well, that was such a fun episode, Aiden.
Absolutely.
There's all sorts of fun things going on around Pioneer Library System in May and early June, and you have a few more things, even more fun things going on.
Speaking of more, so at the Moore Library, coming up on May 27th is the Movie in the Park.
Yay!
And if you have some favorite tiny little yellow superheroes / villains in a major motion picture movie,
Like
I can't say the
Stuart
name
and
of.
Kevin and Bob?
Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
So that's going to be taking place May 27th at the brand new Central Park in Moore. This is
so
going to be one of the
exciting.
very first events that's happening at the new amphitheater. You can start coming around 7 o'clock, but they kind of wait till it gets dark so everyone can see what's going on the big screen. And then speaking of that amphitheater, this is, I want to say it's the 11th year that the library will be partnering with the Parks and Rec Department to present the Summer Nights Concert in the Park series. We've traditionally had that program going on at the Buck Thomas Park, but this year it's going to be at the new Central Park at the amphitheater. So every single Friday night in June, you can bring your own lawn chair and come and hear some great live music, once again around 6:37 or when it gets dark. And they're going to have some different vendors and fun things going on, so that's exciting.
I love, for one thing, I love that proving Leslie Knope wrong.
Yes.
Parks and libraries can get along, guys.
We are not just book jockeys.
You heard it here first. And there's another really exciting thing coming up at the South Oklahoma City Library, is that right?
That's right. We are having our very first ever full one-day writers conference.
Wow.
And this is a free conference that doesn't happen very often, but it's going to be at the Southwest Oklahoma City Library. It is on Saturday, May 7th at 10 a.m. Registration is required. There are going to be breakout sessions. There's going to be local authors there. We actually have some published authors that work at the South Oklahoma City Library and some across the Pioneer Library System. So they're going to be on hand giving tips and tricks to our local writers, and it's just wonderful. So not only do we celebrate the literature in the library, but we're trying to help those aspiring writers as well. Well, I think that wraps it up for another fantastic episode. And as always, we want to spend a moment and thank our wonderful sponsors, First United Bank, who has been so generous in supporting this particular program over the years.
Yes.
We love that. The ability to take it to all 3 counties, Cleveland, McLean, and Potawatomi. And then, of course, thank you, as always, to our local Friends of the Libraries and to the Pioneer Library System Foundation. So we will see you at the library.
Bye.
Bye.